If you're a fan of Marvel and Game of Thrones, this past weekend was insane. After seeing the Avengers Endgame finally, and then the hour-and-a-half Battle of Winterfell Game of Thrones episode, I couldn't help but compare their awesome villains, Thanos and Night King. Now both of these are super iconic villains, and I was just wondering who would actually win in a fight. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing my best to explain to you guys who will win the fight. This interesting artwork is also from the digital artist Jeff Cole, by the way. So, Thanos and Night King actually have a lot in common, from their hive-minded armies to their monstrous weapons. Both are supremely intelligent, often anticipating their foes several moves in advance, and both are immortal, well, until they meet a Stark. These similarities would make any fight between the two quite balanced, but there are scenarios where I see Thanos winning, and others where I would see Night King winning by a long shot. So, before I break it down, make sure to hit that like button, and comment down below real quick to tell me who you think would win in a fight if these two did face off somehow. I mean, obviously, it's a bit difficult for this to actually happen, but it's nice to think about the fight of two of the world's most iconic villains, nevertheless. Powers. Both have an impressive range of powers, though the ones Thanos possesses in both the films and comics seem more useful. He has many ways to prevail against the Night King and his whites, with or without the Infinity Stones. The Night King has strength, has fire resistant powers, even resisting dragon fire, as we have learned over time. He turns metal weapons into ice dust, except Valerian steel, reanimates dead people and animals, creating whites, creates white walkers from baby boys. He even weaponizes weather. He has a skill of marksmanship, so he can even throw an ice spear to kill Daenerys' dragon Viserion. So obviously that takes pretty good marksmanship skills. And he can ride Viserion, so he does have the skills of riding a dragon. As for Thanos, Thanos is obviously very strong, and he has a strength in the fact that he has durability, psychic abilities, he can manipulate matter, control cosmic energy, and he can use all of the Infinity Stones, which give him tons of powers, obviously. So I have to say, in terms of just how powerful each one is, Thanos has to be the more powerful villain. Now let's get into Thanos' army versus the Night King's army. Whites versus Chitauri and Outriders. The Night King creates his army from the dead. Those killed in battle, like at the Battle of Winterfell, can be reanimated into whites by the Night King. In theory, his zombie army could grow indefinitely according to what we have seen on screen. Whites are connected to each other and the White Walkers like a beehive. This hive connection is also their weakness. If a White Walker or the Night King is killed, all those whites lose their animating force and revert to death, as we saw in yesterday's episode, which was a pretty sad episode, by the way. Thanos has an army of Chitauri and Outriders, which also have a hive mind and can attack and swarm strategically during battle. However, if their command ship is destroyed, they will die instantly. In a fight between these two armies, I'm pretty sure Thanos would initially have the advantage because his army has vehicles that can fly and rip through the ground. It's easy to imagine the Outriders' threshers plowing through hordes of whites in an instant. However, if the Night King is able to survive long enough to raise the Chitauri dead, he would be able to replenish his losses and eventually overwhelm Thanos. After the Chitauri are all raised back from the dead, he'd be able to go for an ice spear kill shot on Thanos. So, between the fight of the Chitauri and the whites, Night King's army of whites would definitely win. Now let's talk a solo 1v1 fight. Thanos versus Night King 1v1. We haven't seen the Night King fight in close combat on Game of Thrones. In Season 8, Episode 3, which was yesterday's episode, he quickly disarms and stabs a charging Theon Greyjoy. so he has some moves, but he was also outdone by Arya Stark, which speaks more to her abilities and quick thinking than a lack in his. Thanos is an absolute machine when it comes to fighting close. He can take hits from the Hulk, Captain Marvel, or Captain America wielding a shield, and Thor's hammer Mjolnir. When Thanos is overwhelmed, he finds a way to regain his ground, and if he has Infinity Stones, he's an expert at using them to overpower his enemies, like when he pulled a moon out of orbit to hit Iron Man, or when he used the Power Stone to slug Captain Marvel in Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. If Thanos and the Night King met in a cage fight, my money would be on Thanos, but this wouldn't be an easy knockout at all. The fight would likely start off as sword combat. I don't think Thanos' sword would crumble when it struck the Night King's ice blade. Thanos' sword seems to be made out of a highly durable material, and in Endgame, he was able to damage Captain America's vibranium shield. Thanos is an accomplished fighter, and without weapons, he would definitely overtake the Night King. At 8 feet tall, he is huge compared to the Night King, and the fight could go down like the one in Rocky 3. If the fight was out in the open, however, the Night King could produce a blizzard to obscure his attacks against Thanos. Then the Night King could use his powerful and accurate long-distance ice spear throws to weaken Thanos, but I don't think the Night King would ever be able to create a zombie Thanos because the Mad Titan is immortal. Look, no matter who would win in these different scenarios, a Thanos vs Night King matchup would be entertaining as hell, and I'm all for it if HBO and Disney want to do a crossover. Make sure to leave a comment down below telling me who you think would win in a fight, Thanos or Night King, and would you think there would be a lot more variables involved in the fight? I'm really curious to know, so let me know down below, and I might even pin or favorite some of your comments. As always, this video is basically a discussion thread where we can talk about the possibility of what would happen in a Thanos versus Night King battle. Also, if you want to check out some of my other videos, I have plenty of Avengers Endgame videos that you might be interested in. I have a video of every single movie that is coming after Endgame, where I explain the upcoming Marvel movies coming to the MCU within phase 4, which is the next phase of the MCU. I also have a video talking about my thoughts about season 8 episode 3 of Game of Thrones. So if you enjoy my content, make sure to leave all your support, maybe hit that like button and consider subscribing. I'll have similar content like this uploaded in the next few days also. As always guys, my name is Darkitect. Hope you guys are having an amazing day, and peace out. See you next time.